The four strongest Onika. Rise was huffing, exhausted and anxious. At any moment, he expected Shuren to burst free from the great sword. But nothing happened. It was finally over. He breathed a sigh of relief. Sonoto was exhausted and pouring sweat. Mari was attempting to heal his arms. Just stop the bleeding, little one. The bones are gone. They are useless now. The price for the seal. Yoshi limped over to him. Sonoto looked at him in deference. I'm sorry I had to take your eye back. I swear there was no other way. Yoshi smiled. I'm just going to say it. I don't care that you took it. I'm just happy you beat him. His power was unbelievable. Was he the strongest? Zhuai appeared to answer that as if summoned by their inner voice. Not quite. There are only 4 Onika more powerful than Shuren. You know Onikage and Kamikaze, obviously. However, the other 2 are more secretive. Rinto, the beast of rage, is sealed away in the Earth's core. It is said that was the only battle Onikage has ever struggled in. Reijiki is sealed on the moon. He is special and can absorb ki around himself. Yoshi asked, is that why he was sealed away? Zwa answered, Rinto's power is amplified by human rage, making him very dangerous, so dangerous Onikage himself was the only one who could tame him. Reijiki is another beast of unimaginable power. His ability to absorb ki is very dangerous. On top of that, his other ability to control electric energy is far beyond any other Onika. Rise interrupted. Why should we care if they are already sealed? We don't have to worry anymore. Zwa responded. Normally, I would not bring it up. However, Kamikaze was clearly threatened by Shuren. He left for the moon and didn't return for quite some time. I fear it may have to do with Reijiki. If Kamikaze unsealed Reijiki. Ninaji interrupted. We have to stop him. I only saw my mother cry once. She was explaining the day Reijiki was sealed. Reijiki challenged Kamikaze and fought the kami. Apparently, he beat my mother so severely she actually feared the possibility of being mortal. Kamikaze is too proud to admit he's weak or wrong. He sealed away Reijiki, foregoing his pride. That makes Reijiki the most terrifying thing I have ever heard of. We have to stop Kamikaze. Where is he? Zhuai answered, Ashu. Ninaji proclaimed, we need to go now. Rise spoke, very well, but there is something I must do first. Yoshi inquired, may I ask what is so important? Kamikaze may be bringing a crate capable of erasing the planet. What foolish recklessness is so important to you? Rise looked towards the fallen warriors. I still have comrades that deserve final rest. Before you even say it. Yes, they tried to kill us. However, they died like heroes fighting against monsters. Anyone who dies such a glorious death deserves a burial. Kengo volunteered to help dig, as did the rest of VT. After some time, the team started on the journey towards Ashu, leaving behind several fresh graves with a large stone engraved. The warriors who stood against the 6 samurai. A smaller stone sat next to jars resting close to the graves, with engraved, the 2 legendary Kensei who fought against the shogun. Yukio and Sakio Jinnai, on their side. Another battle of stubbornness. As VT arrived in Ashu, they were greeted by 3 familiar faces. Rise looked at them. I don't suppose you came here to join the right side. You know it doesn't have to be this way. Kanto laughed. I think you know that it does. There is no other option. Ninaji looked at his sister holding Tsukuyomi and gripped Amaterasu tightly. I'll fight Himiko alone. Yoshi chimed in. I'll take the big guy. Rise laughed. I suppose that means it's you and me again, Kanto. No surprise there. Kanto laughed back. I won't let you get away again this time, Rise. Meanwhile, in Ashu, Kamikaze looked on from the highest vantage point. I know you're there. It's not like you to hide. You must be planning something big. Those three are just a distraction from the real test I have prepared. Back on the ground, Rise and Kanto were clashing evenly in a trance. However, things weren't going as well for Ninigi. She's gotten pretty good with Tsukumi. I feel so heavy. It will be very difficult to beat her, considering my limited movement speed. Mother, what should I do? Amaterasu wasn't sure whether she was alright with the prospect of her power killing her only daughter. She was secretly holding back, not only her ki but some of Ninigi's as well. Meanwhile, Yoshi wasn't struggling at all with Motohide. Hey, tree guy, I'm going to attack from the right this time. Try to block better. Motohide rose a wooden box around himself. A mighty gust of wind broke through the box from his right flank and knocked him out of the left side. I said from the right. Rise and Kanto were at a stalemate. Rise asked, do you think now is the time? I know you have a new form. Do you want to take this battle to the next level? Kanto was visibly upset. How do you know that? Do you have a new form as well? Rise laughed and entered his ascended trance, the one he had mastered during the tournament. Kanto pulled the swords from his arms and legs, giving himself control of 7 of those. Orochi Rise looked at Kanto's newfound power with disappointment. Not enough swords, so I'm guessing this battle is over. Meanwhile, Ninigi was still struggling with Himiko. Every time she swung Tsukumi, Ninigi got a little heavier, until eventually, he couldn't move any longer. Amaterasu had wished Himiko would just give up, but once she saw Himiko going for the finishing blow, she stopped holding his son back. With this sudden burst of power, Ninigi evaded the killing blow and disarmed her in no time. At the same instant, Yoshi was standing atop of an easily defeated Motohide. Kanto was on his knees, with 8 swords pointed at him. You win. Take my head to Kamikaze. He's waiting for you just up ahead. Rise returned to his base form and said, I won't take your head. Your team is beaten. I need nothing more from you. Motohide stood up, knocking Yoshi to the ground, and approached Rise. Rise turned to him. Why can't we beat you? Why did we lose to the 6? Why did you win? Rise answered him. It's because you chose the wrong side. Motohide fell on his knees. If that is the case, may I join the vengeance team? Rise answered, of course you can if you so wish. Rise, Motohide Mori of VT Kanto, Himiko, will you join as well? Kanto stood up, looked Rise directly in the face and spit. Before Kanto could speak, Motohide punched him in the face, knocking him down. That's for getting our team killed. Your stupid pride is going to kill you too someday. Yoshi acknowledged Motohide's act and said, nice punch, I guess you aren't so bad. No hard feelings? Yoshi and Motohide shook hands. VT left the defeated warriors behind and ventured forward to finally confront Kamikaze. Walk into a box. Kamikaze had waited patiently. He had covered the entire city in diamonds and also constructed a massive platform overlooking Rifu. This was his display of power. Yoshi couldn't take his eyes off of the platform. That's a monument to his ego. Bastard, I'll make him pay for Suzuki. Sonoto asked, do you really want to avenge Suzuki? I think you want to prove we are strong enough to challenge Onikage. Kamikaze is the only one able to fairly battle with Onikage. Onikage killed your brother. I can sense your desire for revenge. Your brother was your hero. I can feel the darkness in your attitude. If you aren't careful, it could lead you to trouble in the future. That's how I started hunting ninja. I lost my son. A boy around your age, a lot like Rise. He died fighting a ninja. So, I hunted and sealed all of them. Do you know what happened when I completed my revenge? Nothing. Nothing changed. I still miss him, and I still despise them. Yoshi acknowledged he was not oblivious to the subject. Risei looked around, confused. He's pretty much just made a giant box. Why go through all the trouble? To that question, Kamikaze himself answered, his voice resonating in the air around them. For the test, you are in for a treat. The moon is in position. Ninaji interrupted, no. We have to stop him before he unseals that monster. Ninaji flew directly at Kamikaze, who in return gestured his arm down, knocking him to the ground with a beam of light. Kamikaze laughed. Too little, too late. Now let the test begin. He then grabbed a massive chain which began to fall towards the earth. Ninaji got up and flew right back towards Kamikaze, yelling, "What have you done?" Kamikaze responded, "I have brought the greatest test I could devise." A giant metal coffin crashed into the diamond-covered ground. At the same time, menacing laughter was heard in the distance. Kamikaze greeted the new figure unexpectedly entering the area. Risei recognized it immediately. Those claws, that mask. Bastard, you dare show your face? Onikage. Risei teleported behind him and struck. Onikage grabbed his wrist and kicked him in the gut. I see. You got stronger, boy. Still not enough, sadly. I'll have to wait a while longer. Trust me. I want you dead. But I want to kill you at your strongest. So, when I heard what my brother was planning, I thought you humans will certainly die. But then I pondered, why let Kamikaze take all the credit? And so, I brought you a better present. Come forth, Rinto. King of the Sky. Meanwhile, the ground shook, and a bony claw emerged from the ground. Gonda ran at it and punched it as strong as he could. Ninaji yelled, "Gonda, no. Your anger will only strengthen it." The bony arm sent Gonda flying. Rinto then finally emerged from the ground. Onikage laughed. Well, I wish I could watch you all die horribly, but I have other matters to attend to. I'm taking those two with me. See you in Hokkaido. He grabbed Kanto and Himiko and disappeared. Risei rose. Damn it. He got away. Yoshi grabbed his arm and shook him out of his anger. No time to worry about him. You and I should go to Kamikaze. He's the biggest threat. Risei looked at him. You're right, if you and I take him down, the others can fight these two. Fu, can you guys keep Rinta busy long enough for Yoshi and me to get Kamikaze? Fu answered, got it, but be careful, he's dangerous. Risei teleported himself and Yoshi to the platform. Fu began organizing the rest in a way to surround Rinto. Gonda was enraged, and he began charging at Rinto. Ninaji interrupted him. Brother. Your rage strengthens him. Please stay out of this. Just then, the other metal coffin melted, and from it emerged a tall human-like body. Kengo sneered at him. He looks like an old man. This shouldn't be too hard. Reijiki started to absorb the diamond covering the surrounding area. He then sent out a massive ball of electricity. Witnessing that power, Ninaji was terrified. If that hit any of us. Gonda screamed and entered his golem mode, charging Reijiki. The Onika blasted his rock armor, but it seemed to do no serious electricity-based damage. Ninaji realized it doesn't affect him. Gonda can't fight Rinto because of his rage. But, he is a perfect opponent for Reijiki. Meanwhile, Kamikaze was admiring the view. Isn't it just amazing? You pathetic humans are challenging the forbidden beast. How absolutely fascinating. However, I can't figure out why you two are up here. You are by far the strongest in your group. Risei stepped towards him. We have come here to seal you. With your power, we can beat those beasts down there. Risei then entered Orochi Risei, his ascended trance state. Yoshi took this opportunity to go to his advanced trance as well. Kamikaze laughed. What you say does make sense. Except there is no way the two of you could stand a chance. Not just the two of you, maybe the whole lot. If the old guy could still use those arms, only then, maybe. Yoshi stepped forward. It's not a matter of whether we can beat you. We have to beat you. I need your power to beat Onikage. I will beat him, and you can't stop me. He then shot a concentration of powerful wind at Kamikaze. Risei teleported behind him and started shooting several projectiles at Kamikaze from the snake heads. They were all immediately cut to pieces. Did you really think a sneaky tactic would work on the King of the Sky? Risei responded. It already has. The remains of the projectiles fell onto Kamikaze, and he was covered in a mix of acid and terrible venom. Before he could speak, Yoshi sent him flying with a concentrated flow of water. Looks like the two of us are enough. Kamikaze stood up, and a white feathered wing emerged from his back. He summoned his sword Masamune. The 10-foot diamond-edged blade shined blindingly. You stupid children of men. I've been holding back this entire fight. You won't last 10 seconds in the face of my true power. Forbidden Onika. Gonda could not catch Reijiki. But Reijiki could not hurt Gonda at the same time. They were in a stalled fight. Meanwhile, VT was struggling with Rinto. Ninigi, Fu, and Kengo began preparing a combination attack. Hanzo, Kotaro, and Motohide planned a restraining attempt. Mari healed the wounded as best as she could when possible. Risei teleported to Kamikaze, and Yoshi tried to flank him. Together, they attacked relentlessly, but their assault was completely contained. Truly pathetic. Even with that level of power, you can't hit me. With a simple wave of his hand, Yoshi and Risei were thrown in the air with a powerful shock. Then they rolled to the opposite side of the overlook. Gonda, by luck, anticipated where Reijiki was going and knocked him into the diamond wall. Meanwhile, Kotaro and Hanzo bound Rinto in 20 sealing strings, and Motohide imprisoned the beast in many trees and vines. Sonoto had Hanzo place a ninji in his mouth. It read, Senju. Rinto started to break the strings and trees. Fu hit him with 4 vacuum walls of pressurized air. Kengo shot hundreds of light arrows to pin him down. Ninigi was high in the sky, absorbing solar power. He was also deep in conversation with Amaterasu, who agreed to his demand for energy. He started to glow, and heat rose in the surrounding area. He then flew towards the beast. Everyone on the ground could feel the heat as Amaterasu Ninigi drew closer. He flew into Rinto with enough force to knock it free from all its restraints, and the beast flew in the air. Ninigi gave hasty pursuit, firing direct beams of sunlight into the beast. As the beast fell to the earth, he crafted an obsidian spear he then thrust into him. The time had finally come to seal that monster, so he yelled, Great Seal Rinto. The beast vanished, absorbed into the dark spear. Ninigi fell on his knees, then returned to his base form, exhausted by his ascended trance. Just then, something flying pelted the surrounding area. VT shifted its focus to Gonda's golem, now missing its right arm. The wall Reijiki crashed into was no more, as well as most of the diamond covering the surrounding area. Sonoto spotted Reijiki and was astonished. What? The diamond was made of ki. He absorbed it, and now Fu's body froze as she stared at Reijiki. He's transformed. Mari commented, Onika in a trance? What could we possibly do? Defeat. Kamikaze looked on at the power gathered by Reijiki. Damn, I must say I was not expecting that to happen at all. I'm afraid I simply have no more time to test you. You all fail. That flimsy spear won't hold Rinto, and Reijiki is strong enough to kill every one of you in a single attack. As for you two, you can't even touch me. So, last warning. Serve me, and together we will defeat my brother. After I rule this world, I will make you all kings. Orochi Risei jumped back to his feet. Yoshi cautioned him not to act rashly. We need to find an opening and exploit it. That's our only chance. Orochi Risei didn't listen. He couldn't. He channeled all his remaining ki and charged Kamikaze, yelling, as if we could ever serve you. I'll do more than touch you. I'm going to beat you. His sword swinging in a circular motion with his snake arms also swinging formed a perfect perimeter. Yoshi tried to catch up, yelling, you colossal idiot. Don't charge him alone. A little below, Gonda attempted to attack Reijiki with his remaining arm. Reijiki reacted at light speed and flew through his arm into the golem, grabbing Gonda from the inside. Ninaji, in desperation to save his brother, grabbed Rinto, which was shaking violently. Ninaji was enraged, which would prove to be a huge mistake. The spear exploded, sending shrapnel into the members of VT, mainly Ninaji himself. Slowly, Rinto started to rematerialize in front of them. Sonoto bit his scroll and mouthed Senju helping hands. 4 arms emerged from his back. A nice workaround to losing my arms. But will it be enough? Our situation is grim. Rinto is too strong for a weapon, as is Reijiki. Rinto is back and Reijiki is too strong and is torturing poor Gonda to death. I don't want to make myself useless, but it may be the only way. I could not teach the chain seal in less than 10 years. And Senju doesn't do legs. Mari approached him. I've seen that face before. What's your plan? Meanwhile, Yoshi had caught up to Orochi Risei. Orochi Risei then teleported within striking range. All Risei could see were sparks, broken bones and blood. Kamikaze but whispered, 1. All of Orochi Risei's snake arms and swords were severed at once. 2, 3. Risei couldn't feel his arms or legs, and he fell to his knees, looking down at a rapidly filling pool of blood. He asked himself whether he had lost. He had been cut from the left shoulder to the right leg. Also, from the right shoulder to the left leg. A massive X carved in his torso. Before Yoshi could react, Kamikaze appeared before him and counted 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. He had a wicked grin upon his face as he waited for the cuts to appear on Risei's body. There, our battle has concluded. Now I must find a way to get Reijiki back to the moon after he has killed Dash. However, the one he hit had not been Risei. Yoshi collapsed. 5 stab wounds in his torso. Brothers. Reijiki continued to torture Gonda, shocking him. Motohide, Fu, and Kengo continued to battle against Rinto. Out of nowhere, Mari ran at Rinto with a scroll at the ready. She activated the scrolls, putting a powerful seal on Rinto's legs. Mari had prepared for Rinto's wrath with a barrier. However, it was broken immediately as she was struck with the bony claw of Rinto and was sent flying backward. Ninaji had had enough seeing his brother tortured, and this kind woman he had taken a serious interest in being injured. Despite being in a wounded and weak state, he rose to his feet and began to glow as the area around him heated up considerably. Sonoto got close enough not to get burned and informed him of his plan. Ninaji reluctantly agreed. Up ahead, all Risei could see was his own blood. Orochi, I need your help, please. Orochi responded. I'm already trying, these wounds are grievous indeed. I'll need your remaining ki along with my own, and you cannot move an inch. Even then, I don't know if I can heal this. Yoshi was a mere 5 feet behind, drifting in and out of consciousness when his necklace started to glow. He could faintly hear a familiar voice calling his name. Yoshi. Yoshi, come on. You can't be dead from a couple of pokes. How do you plan on avenging my death if you can't even beat Kamikaze? Yoshi answered, Daisuyo. Did I die? Is that why I can hear you now? Daisuyo responded, no, you're not dead, not yet anyway. There are so many things I wish I could say, but we simply don't have time. My ki is healing your wounds as we speak, but that will take most of it. Yoshi responded, your ki? I don't understand how that's possible. Daisuyo continued, while I traveled with VT, I made the necklace you've been wearing. I originally crafted it to hold several Onika so I could use their power. I never managed to make it that far. So when I saved Risei and was subsequently killed, I sealed the rest of my ki in this necklace. My thought behind it was it could help you in a pinch. I never imagined it would happen like this. Facing kamikaze. I've never been prouder of you, brother. I wish I could see you do it all. I'm sorry I left you alone all these years. You don't have to forgive me for my choice. But I just knew you and Risei could do it. I've never seen two stronger men. I'm almost done healing your wounds. After that, I'll leave you with my remaining ki. Yoshi asked, can you stay? Please, brother. I need you. His mind went back to the last time he had seen Daisuyo. I'm sorry, Yoshi, but this is the only way I'll be strong enough to avenge our parents. I'm going to the capital. I'm going to be a royal guard. I'm going to show the power of Usamana. When I went there 6 months ago, I impressed even some of the current guards. It's my destiny. I'll be back. As soon as I beat Tsunami, I'll become a legend, and we will never have to worry about anything again in life. Young Yoshi had asked, can't you just stay? Brother, I need you. Mom and Dad are dead, but a human can't beat a god. Just please stay, brother. I need you. Golden Pain. Fu asked Sonoto if she could borrow Kagebushin. Sonoto threw her the scroll with his lower set of arms while the upper set was locked together similarly. Fu activated Kagebushin, making 2 copies of herself. The leg seal severely impaired Rinto's agility. Motohide wrapped the right arm in many trees. Just then, all 3 of Fu hit the left side of Rinto with 3 Shippuden, breaking several of his bones. Kengo shot several large light arrows, once again pinning the beast. Amaterasu Ninigi then crashed into the beast and began to blast it repeatedly. Just then, Kamikaze cut Rijiki's right hand off, freeing Gonda, who had plummeted to the ground. The severed hand continued to shock Gonda. In response to this, Gonda began to consume the hand. Sonoto watched in horror, expecting it to kill Gonda, but instead, something amazing happened. Electricity radiated from Gonda's right hand. Sonoto had a new endgame in mind. He called Hanzo and Kotaro and informed them of an amendment to the plan. They stared in amazement, thinking he had gone crazy. He acknowledged their disbelief, but seeing as he was the Grandmaster, they trusted his judgment and gave 5 golden rings each. Yoshi started to regain his consciousness, but Risei still hadn't moved. There was too much blood on the ground. Yoshi looked in his direction. You fool, why couldn't you just listen for once? If we get out of this. Daisuyo spoke to him once more, brother. Your wounds are healed. I'm leaving my ki in your hands. Can you do me one last favor? Of course, anything. Daisuyo's parting message was, beat Kamikaze and save him one more time. Yoshi stood tall. He picked up Susanoo and pulled out Tsunami. Kamikaze was struggling against Reijiki. He's absorbed so much ki, and he's turned it into speed and power. Reijiki hit him, sending him flying into the bridge. Sonoto instructed Hanzo and Kotaro to get into position. Just then, 2 chains emerged from his legs. One wrapped around Rinto, and the other around Reijiki. Hanzo grabbed the chain attached to Rinto and ran to Ninigi. Kotaro grabbed the chain attached to Reijiki and ran to Gonda. Hanzo impaled Ninigi's chest with the chain. Kotaro impaled Gonda's hand with the other. Hanzo placed a gold ring on Ninigi's neck and 1 on each wrist and ankle. Kotaro placed 5 on Gonda's arm. Then, they entered strange poses and yelled, Golden 6th level seal. Rinto entered Ninaji's body, and Hanzo then pulled a scroll named Kinkaku, covering Ninaji with several tattoos written in hot gold. Ninaji screamed in pain as the gold cooled. Kotaro used molten gold to turn the rings into a golden full-armed gauntlet. Gonda simply stated it was too hot. Susanoo Tsunami Yoshi. Kamikaze rose to his feet and boasted about his bridge not collapsing. Looking to his left, he saw a small tornado surrounding Yoshi. He called out, "You still alive in there? I could have sworn I hit you in 5 vital spots. If you want to try again, you'll have to hurry up. I've got other things to handle. I can't keep killing you all day." The tornado disappeared along with Yoshi. Kamikaze looked around in disbelief. He suddenly turned around to see Yoshi, but he was much different. His skin was gray, with a ring of tomo drum sparking on his back. His right arm was made of wind. His left arm was made of water with a water dragon wrapped around his body. Where was this power before? Who stands before me now? Susanoo Tsunami Yoshi answered, "I am Yoshi Amana, brother of the hero Daisuyo Amana and descendant of Amana, the second man. With the power of Susanoo and Tsunami, I am the perfect storm you can't touch. I'm going to rip you to pieces." Susanoo Tsunami Yoshi rushed at Kamikaze. Kamikaze attempted to block him with the sword Masamune. The diamond blade broke in half. That's impossible. Masamune can't break. It has never broken, not even when clashing with. He was interrupted with a flurry of rapid punches followed by a massive wave of water, sending him crashing into the bridge's right side. Enraged, he charged toward Susanoo Tsunami Yoshi. He stopped en route when he noticed water above him. When he looked up, Yoshi slammed into him with enough force to send him through the bridge. Kamikaze hit the sea below, thinking about how this was the first time he was on the losing end of a one-sided fight. He began to resurface when he heard from beneath him, "Let me help you up." It was Susanoo Tsunami Yoshi. He let loose a water attack that propelled up through the bridge. Kamikaze recovered quickly and lay in wait for Yoshi. When Yoshi landed with a reformed Masamune, Kamikaze ambushed Yoshi with several incredibly fast stabs and slashes. But to no avail, as if he was just cutting water. "I told you. You can't touch me." Yoshi summoned a massive gale of wind to crush Kamikaze, cracking and damaging the bridge around him. While Kamikaze fell, Yoshi grabbed and ripped off his wing. He then proceeded to kick at Kamikaze, who was sprawled down and practically cowering. "Rise, I want you at your feet when I beat you." He then forged a massive ball of compressed air in his right hand. Around it flew a water dragon. "This is a Shippuden. I added my own flair to it, but I still hate using one of Lady Fu's attacks." Despite being unable to move, Risei still had it in himself to whimper, "Shippuden is actually my move." Before any more words could be exchanged, the Shippuden slammed into Kamikaze, sending him flying over Risei and the bridge's opposite wall. Susanoo Tsunami Yoshi charged Kamikaze at full speed, cracking the bridge under him and almost knocking Risei off. Kamikaze staggered back to his feet, fear in his eyes as Yoshi closed in. As he drew closer, his tomo disappeared, and his skin returned to normal. He had exhausted his dual trance and was in his base form again. Kamikaze laughed as he approached him once again. The price of revenge. Risei was barely alive and grievously wounded. He looked back and saw Yoshi's amazing new form had faded. He was on his knees, in base form. Kamikaze had approached and began speaking to him. Orochi spoke to Risei. Don't you dare stand. I just barely stopped the bleeding. If you start moving, I have no idea what." Risei interrupted him. "Thank you for caring so much, Orochan." Orochi was disgusted. "I don't care about a foolish snake eater and don't call me any nonsense. I'm Orochi of Yamato, the great snake warrior and devourer of Risei interrupted him again. Sorry about this, Oro-chan, but I have to help Yoshi. Risei was so weak from blood loss he was basically dragging his weapon towards them. As he drew closer, he witnessed something he never expected, though. Yoshi stood up and shook Kamikaze's hand, the way you do with someone you are close with. Risei teleported to them. What the hell are you doing? He enslaved humanity, he killed Suzuki. Are you under some kind of spell? Kamikaze looked to Yoshi. Prove your conviction. Take the Orochi from him. Yoshi looked to the dual sword in Risei's hand and held his hand out, expecting the weapon. Risei gripped the blade tightly and said, over my dead body. Yoshi hit Risei in the stomach. Risei dropped Orochi and fell off the bridge, falling towards the sea below. Kamikaze cackled and spoke to Yoshi. That was the most heartless thing I've ever seen. Do you think he'll die? Yoshi grinned menacingly and said, of course not. He is a stubborn fool. We should go. There is much work to do. Risei was stunned. Not by the punch or by the feeling of falling. He was hit hard by the confusion. I never really had a family. When I think of it, Ichiban was like a grandfather. Jushiro was like a father. Risei was like a mentor. Daisuyo was like an older brother. Yoshi, you were like a little brother to me. How could this happen? We were supposed to fight Onikage together. Risei had nearly hit the water when Fu teleported to him. Looks like you were right to give me this eye. She smiled and teleported them back to VT. Oh no, that scar. What happened to you? Mari. Mari, please hurry. Did you guys lose? Where is Yoshi? Is he? Risei mustered up a whisper. No. Worse, and pointed to the bridge before slipping out of consciousness. All of VT's attention was focused on the sight before them. Yoshi standing proud next to Kamikaze. Loose ends. Ninaji was livid. That bastard. After everything, he betrayed us. Nobody could come to his defense. The group was at a loss for words. Mari started healing Risei and had Hachiko start healing Ninaji's burns. A nearby crane transformed into Zwasi. This is a most unexpected event. Not even the fates can predict a wild card. That being said, two major threats are remaining. Onikage and Kanto Taira have sealed. 2 Onika. More disturbing still, Yoshi and Kamikaze have just sealed Kawakami. There are many Onika still at large. If your rivals gather enough of them. An excited voice interrupted. Then let's go already. We have to seal the remaining Onika. Zwasi looked impressed to see that Risei was awake and even standing. Mari scolded him for being up on his feet in his condition. You know Orochi didn't actually heal you. You were wounded severely. Orochi simply replaced bone and tissue with some sort of skin. It will take me weeks to properly heal you. If you don't rest, you will suffer serious chronic pain and difficulty breathing for life. So, lay back down, mister. Risei yelled, no. This isn't a matter that can wait. Yoshi already has 4 Onika. We only have 6 members that can use Onika. One of us is purely supportive. We can't let him gain more power. You didn't see his form. The damage to that bridge wasn't from Kamikaze. Yoshi is a powerful man, and Kanto is another person to worry about. He has nothing but hate for us. There is no telling how he could use that much power. We have to seal all the remaining Onika. Everyone was impressed with the seriousness Risei had adopted. The man looked to Sonoto. I assume you used that seal again. I'm sorry you had to resort to that once more. Please, Grandmaster, leave the rest to us. Sonoto responded, it's been an honor, Lord Risei. I confidently leave the rest to you. But first, Hanzo, give the infinite scroll to Mari, together with those 2 keys. Mari, in this scroll, I've been storing all of our unused Onika. Now please come closer, so I can explain those keys. Rise asked Mari to retrieve the great sword, now Shuren. He crafted a massive sheath for it and strapped it to his back. Vengeance team, it's time to finish this. Let's go. VT would spend the next 2 years sealing the remaining Onika scattered across the land. All the while training for new forms, spells, and techniques. The end of this long road is drawing near. An ending in sight. Over 2 years had passed since the Diamond Bridge incident, and during this time, VT had been sealing many Onika. They were just in the middle of their final encounter with lesser ones. The giant centipede Onimukute pursued Lady Fu fiercely up the side of empty USA. As Fu passed through 2 trees marked by 2 Hachimaki, she yelled, "Now!" Fu teleported behind Onimukute. As the beast turned to her, Shuren ripped right through it. Rise teleported to Fu as the head of Onimukute fell to the ground. He looked at Fu and said, "I told you it would be easy. Kengo, now!" Jumping down from the top of the tree, Kengo stabbed Onimukute with a chain whip sword. He then placed his right hand on the sword and his left on the Onika, and yelled, "Great Seal Onimukute." The weapon finally absorbed the massive insect. Ninaji and Gonda arrived on the scene. The first seemed disappointed. "I was hoping your plan wouldn't work. My brother and I didn't get to do much last time we dealt with an Onika." Motohide dropped from the other tree. "I made the trees. So I feel like I helped a little." Rise laughed and said, "If you want, I can undo the seal and see how you and Gonda manage." Fu slapped and scolded him for even jesting about such an action. A crane landed nearby, and immediately Rise turned to it. "Old man, I knew you would show up. We are finished sealing the Onika. So my question is, where are Onikage and Kamikaze? It's time to finish this." The crane was startled by the yelling and flew away. A voice resounded behind him, "Who were you talking to?" Zhuasi chuckled at Rise's assumption, and the man was embarrassed by his mistakes. Fu interrupted them. "There is no time for joking. What's going on?" Zhuasi explained, "Onikage has been gathering humans from every city to Hokkaido. I don't actually know what his plans are, but he is requesting your presence there." Ninaji said, "It's obviously some sort of trap. Lure us in with humans and then ambush us. So typical, it's almost too easy." Fu interrupted, "That's because it is. He's smarter than us. He knows we would be expecting a trap. But I think he would try to make us look stupid. And that there is no trap. He will probably not ambush us, just to humiliate us. That bastard. I wish he was mortal so I could strangle the life out of him." Rise looked around and pressed on. "Well, trap or not, we have to end this. We head for Hokkaido immediately. All these years, all the people we have lost. They have all been leading to this final showdown at Hokkaido." With that in mind, VT would venture towards destiny. Onikage was waiting patiently to enact his diabolical plan. At journey's end. As VT arrived at Tsugura, they took a moment to acknowledge the end of their long journey. Rise turned to everyone else and spoke softly. "Years ago, when I was a young fool, VT confronted Onikage at my behest. Onikage murdered everyone. There was a massive difference in power between the two sides. There are many people I wish were here with us now, but I can't bring them back. The point I'm trying to make is this: I can't guarantee all of us will be coming back. I can't guarantee any of us will either. I can't guarantee we can seal him. I've tried. So, if you are afraid of dying while fighting Onikage, stay in Ashu. Last time, we weren't ready. This time we couldn't have prepared better if we tried." Fu stepped forward. "You know you don't even have to ask me. I'll stop that bastard even if he kills me, revives me, and kills me again." Ninaji stepped forward. I will fight by your side until life leaves my body. Mari swore to support the party. Motohide also vowed his determination. Gonda said he was hungry. Just like that, there was no doubt in their hearts anymore, and VT headed to Hokkaido. Standing before them along the path to the region were Kanto Taira and several shadowy figures. Walking towards him, Risei spoke. So you must have your mind set on doing this. Very well, let us proceed if we must, to reach our goal. Kanto laughed at him and said, yes, you and I have some unfinished business. But just to make sure your friends don't get in our way, I brought some familiar faces. Risei looked in horror at the figures appearing in front of him, and yelled, no, you didn't. Standing by the side of Kanto were Daisuyo Amana, Wanoji Taira, Kenji Iwata, Hotaro Shimazu and Rikamaru Shinseki. Risei was stunned. Why wasn't I expecting it? I should have known. But I won't complain. My enemy isn't here. If I stop Kanto, Onikage is in my grasp. Fu. I'll face Kanto, will you guys keep the others busy? Fu and Ninaji nodded in approval. She teleported to Rikamaru and whisked him away instantly. She wouldn't let anyone else face him. Kengo tackled Kenji. Gonda approached Hotaro. Brother, I'm sorry. Ninaji approached Wanoji and said, so, you are Kanto's father. What stake do you have in this? Wanoji, with a dead stare, pulled a dark orb out, and it glowed in his hand. Kanto yelled to Ninaji, don't bother, my father can't reply. Onikage wiped his mind. Unforgivable. When Ninaji asked why, Kanto responded, when Lord Onikage resurrected the new warriors, my father was upset. He began cursing me for my servitude to Onikage. We stopped it immediately. It's your fault. Had you not gotten him killed, I would not have joined Onikage. My father's body will only fight using the power of Yomi. He will destroy you. Risei interrupted, you're the stupidest person I've ever met. You must be crazy. He killed your father, turned him into a battle puppet, and you want to fight me for him. I'm going through you if I have to. Risei briefly clashed with Kanto. Fu spoke with Rikamaru. I suppose we do get to have that rematch now. Rikamaru seemed upset yet relieved at his situation. Kengo continually punched Kenji, who somberly told him, you can stop. I can't feel pain, and you'll never destroy this body like that. Kengo, I'm sorry. You deserved better. But I was never meant to be a father. I figured Sugo was a more suitable candidate. Kengo enraged. You left us. Mom lost her mind. Uncle Sugo got sick. If it weren't for the Kenshire, I probably would have died too. I bet you didn't care. Kenji, the smartest royal guard. You were already a hero. You abandoned us just to be famous. Kenji replied, it wasn't like that. I had always been smart. Too smart to be normal. I couldn't be around normal people. They were too stupid to understand me. I also couldn't display emotion. I was a freak, so I embraced it and lived my life through books. I met your mother Anne. Kengo interrupted him abruptly. I know you used her, and I was just an unwanted side effect. You told me this when I came to see you in the capital. Kenji lamented, no. I loved your mother. She was the only one that understood and accepted me. You were indeed an accident, but it wasn't a negative one. All I knew was books and random things. I wasn't made to be a father. I didn't know how to help her or raise you. I lived in fear that she was going to take you and leave me. I didn't want to hold you back anymore. I didn't want to lose the life I built. So I left, and I took the exam. When you showed up years later, I panicked and pushed you away. But I never forgot about you. I just never deserved you. I always saw so much of me in you. I hated myself, and I took it out on you. He took a deep breath. I wish I was normal. I can't change how I was anymore. But I want you to know. You were the greatest gift I ever received. I never stopped loving you. I see the way you look down at Azaoi. That blade taught you more than I ever could. I remember the day I had Risei crafted. I had it sent to Sugo and made sure he didn't mention me. I knew you wouldn't accept it if you knew who it was from. Before she died, your mother would often write about you. As would Sugo. After Sugo died, I begged the Jinai brothers to watch over you. When I lay dying in the tarnished capital, I only thought of you. The swordsman, no, the man you would become. Kenji grabbed a Azaoi from Kengo's sheath and plunged the blade into his stomach. This is what little I can do. Apologize to a son that I never deserved. I don't expect you to forgive me. I'm sorry you ever had to know me. I'm going back to Sugo and Izie. Please don't join us for some time. You are strong enough to succeed where I failed. I love you, son. With that, Kenji's body returned to dust. With tears in his eyes, Kengo quietly whispered, I can't stop. I understand now, but you don't realize. Mom never stopped loving you. She wanted to spend her whole life with you. I hope you make it right with her. Until you do, I'll hate you. Shogun Risei. Risei clashed more intensely with Kanto. Kanto laughed. You have gotten much stronger than I expected. I gathered Onika and formed a team to stop you here. But I see now, you could beat all of them alone. In my current form, I can't win. Risei interrupted him, don't do it. It's not worth it. However, Kanto grabbed the swords in his arms and yelled, Great Bishamonten, God of War. Grant me all of your power to fulfill my contract. Hundreds of swords appeared around him. So this is my full power. How fantastic, this power is far greater than even yours could be. Risei looked at his new form and laughed. I haven't told you yet. But I have another trance. He rose Shuren into the air and yelled, Shuren, Shogun of the 6 Samurai. Grant me the power to crush my foes. From the blade, a fantastic crimson armor emerged, automatically covering Risei. On top of that, he was noticeably stronger in this form, given that the great sword seemed as light as a feather. Kanto was stunned and asked, Are you even still Risei? Shogun Risei responded, I am not. Kanto frantically threw a wall of swords at him, but Risei swung the great sword, deflecting and shattering the oncoming blades. Fu continued to confront Rikimaru. Ninigi finally overpowered the body of Wanoji and destroyed it with a massive inferno. Gonda still failed to act against Totaro. The man taunted him. Attack me, brother. I'm already dead. If you want to fight Onikage, you will need to overcome your feelings. Your living brother has overcome his foe already. You mustn't fall behind. Gonda found his resolve and began gathering ki in his right hand. Hotaro nodded in acknowledgement. What incredible powers you have gathered, brother. It is an honor to call you such. Gonda's attack finished charging, and he let loose an incredible punch at light speed. The punch instantly destroyed Hotaro. Gonda muttered, No, brother, the honor was all mine. Fu had grown weary of clashing evenly with Rikimaru. I'm sorry, Rikimaru, it's been an intense battle. However, I still have work to do. I can waste no more ki on this. Allow me to finish this. Giant Shippuden. Fu teleported to Rikimaru and ultimately destroyed him. Meanwhile, Risei continued to block, deflect and break all oncoming blades. Kanto was enraged at the sight. Even with all of my power, I can't gain any ground. Very well, since you took something from me, I'll take something from you. He then threw several blades at Fu. Risei called, No. You fool. Hundreds of blades formed a perimeter around Kanto. He was unbeatable. Fu was too tired to evade the swords and lamented the end was nay. Suddenly, the swords fell harmlessly to the ground. Kanto looked down, finding a massive blade protruding from his chest. How? I had a buffer of blades. Rise informed, I've had this opening the entire battle. I wanted to make you submit. But alas, I failed. I'm sorry it ended like this. I'm sorry Wanoji died. I'm sorry I wasn't better. I know how you feel. I have lost many as well. I could have been like you. I wish we could have fought on the same side. Beginning of the end. Kanto laughed. You could have won whenever you chose. You waited until I went too far. Perhaps I should have joined you. But my rage was too strong. Still, even now that I understand I was wrong, I can't forgive you. I still despise you. Can I ask you one simple boon? What is it? You saw Himiko wasn't here. She's carrying something very important. Please make sure she survives this. I've always been selfish. I hated my dad for being a guard. I never saw him. I'm mad at you for his death. Now I'm leaving my wife alone. I'll never be there for my son. On top of that, my father was upset about my choice. If this man before me works with the demon Onika, I have no son. Is what he said. Father. Hope you can forgive Dash. Kanto's lifeless body slipped away from the great sword Shuren. Fu approached Rise, who was in a daze. We did it. The warriors are handled. Well, except for him. She pointed to Daisuyo, who, with crossed arms, faced the mainland. Rise spoke, he's waiting. Fu asked, for what? Suddenly, Yoshi appeared in front of Daisuyo at great speed. The two seemed to exchange a brief conversation, then Yoshi plunged his hand through Daisuyo, turning his body to dust. Rise teleported to him. So, here we are. I knew you would come for him. Yoshi responded, indeed. I'm just going to say it. Only one of us can fight Onika, and it has to be me. Rise interrupted him, you are wrong. I can fight him. Did you forget what happened last time? I know I can't let it happen again. We've lost too many. We settle this here and now. The last man standing will fight him and save humanity. Rise laughed and simply responded, let's go. Yoshi powered up, and this time all 5 gems on his necklace began to glow. Fully amped Susanoo Tsunami Yoshi. Rise clapped his hand and called out, Kajiki. 6 additional arms emerged from his back, each holding a blade of the 6 samurai. He yelled, Shogun Rise of the 6. The awesome forces of their ki alone began to destroy the land bridge connecting Oshu and Hokkaido. As the bridge crumbled away, Yoshi and Rise took to the sky. Fu teleported VT inland away from their battlefield. Standing before them, Onika, covered in blood, was surrounded by hundreds of murdered people. You were taking too long, so I had to entertain myself. Now that you are here, shall we begin? Fateful duel. Each time Yoshi and Rise clashed, the ground shook. Onika laughed. This is fantastic, those two are each stronger than all of you combined, and they are fighting each other. You humans are so stupid. So, here is my deal. You have 3 minutes to get as strong as you can manage. After that, I'll let loose and kill you all slowly. Fu thought to herself. He doesn't realize that they are fighting a different kind of battle. In a normal battle, you try to kill your opponent. In this battle, they are fighting to save their opponent. Rise couldn't land a direct attack on Yoshi. Every time his body faced physical trauma, it turned to water and wasn't harmed. Rise was basically wasting precious time and ki. Yoshi yelled, just give up, you can't win. I've spent the last 2 years finding a way to beat him. If you fight him, you'll die in vain. Rise looked back at him. If you fight him, you'll die. I can see it in your resolve. This is my task. Ichiban trusted me with his eyes and this sword. My destiny is to die sealing him away. Yoshi clashed with Rise a while longer, but they both knew their battle would have to wrap up soon. Fu had achieved an ascended trance, Benkei's Fu. Gonda carelessly charged at Onikage. Oh, the big one has returned. But you aren't entirely human. You're one of that bitch's hybrids. With a simple slap, Onikage sent Gonda flying. How sad, you still can't touch me. Ninaji was upset and entered his ascended trance. He charged towards Onikage, who in return laughed and said, speaking of her brood. Ninaji and Onikage exchanged blows briefly until Onikage began to get the upper hand and repeatedly pummel Ninaji. Suddenly, Fu and Motohide rushed him. Rise and Yoshi continued to exchange blows until Rise tagged him with an electric ball, and after that, he was finally able to land. A hit. I found the only weakness of his technique. Rise teleported behind Yoshi and released a wave of electricity into him. He then drop-kicked him, sending him to the ground. Yoshi began to fire water dragons towards Rise, but he evaded them all and teleported in front of him, cutting his necklace with a precise blow. Yoshi reverted to his base form as his necklace exploded, and several Onika fell to the ground, including Susanoo and Tsunami. I won't see you tonight. Yoshi was quiet. Rise looked down at him. You lost. I'm sorry, but this battle is my destiny. I will use this power to get even further beyond. I'll beat him with my overdrive and seal him inside Lord Ichiban's sword. Just like Shuren and the samurai. It will tear my body apart, and I'll die painfully. But I swore I was going to give my life to save humanity. So, Yoshi, I know you only left to get power to beat him. I forgave you that day. There is no need for you to die for your redemption. Just promise me you'll watch after Fu and my son. Yoshi stood and went to shake his hand. Rise smiled and reached in. With an unexpected grin, Yoshi then muttered, watch over them yourself. Sure Sue. Time had stopped for 10 seconds. I'm sorry, Rise, but this isn't your fight. You are the future, while I am the past. It's okay, I've had 2 years to accept it. Yoshi pulled the very long tsuka from his saya, and from pure diamond formed at Tsuba and Habaki. A massive blade too started to shape up. He raised his left hand, a beam of light erupting from it and covering Rise's arms and legs with diamond dust. I'm sorry, but I will leave you with this. I won't see you tonight. When this is all over, watch after my son, he's being guarded as the last of the Amana bloodline in Kai. Rise, imprisoned in stone, agreed, unable to do much more. Yoshi turned away from him and said, the diamond will disappear once I'm gone, so just stay put for now. Rise was trying to hold back a tear. Who knows if it was adoration or frustration. Yoshi flew away towards Onikage's location. Meanwhile, Fu, Ninaji and Motohide tried to gain some ground against Onikage, but he was too strong. Fu spoke in frustration. Guys, this is bad. I'm almost out of ki, and we haven't even hurt him. Motohide added, I think he's holding back a lot. He's barely hurting us. I think he's literally torturing us mentally. Ninaji lost control and charged Onikage at full power. Onikage stopped laughing and registered him as a threat. He lifted a single finger and formed a purple ball of energy the size of an arrowhead. He whispered, Ultra Mini Death Ball. The attack hit Ninaji in the chest and exploded into a burst of black energy, knocking Ninaji out of the air and out of his trance. Onikage laughed and yelled, my apologies, I overestimated you. That was a very cool form. Out of you lot, he was the strongest, and I'm pretty sure he's dying now. So playtime is over. He then slammed his knee into Fu's stomach, knocking her out of the trance as well. Motohide swung his hammer, only to have it stopped by a single finger. Onikage laughed even harder, and with his other hand, he held a single finger to Motohide and fired a lousy beam. It punched a hole in Motohide's shoulder, flooring him. The Onika then flew into the sky. He raised his right arm and 2 fingers rose from his hand. He formed a death ball the size of a fist. VT looked on in horror, remembering the destruction he brought with a single finger back that distant day. Onika launched the death ball at them without pulling any punches. Just then, Yoshi arrived, covered in brilliant diamond armor. With his diamond hand, he grabbed the death ball. A light shines in the darkness. Everyone looked on in amazement as Yoshi pushed back Onika's attack. Onika taunted. "Listen here, boy. You can't hold that much power forever. I can see your armor is already starting to break." He wasn't wrong as the gloves started to crack. "If you let go, it will kill all of them. There is enough power in that attack to destroy Kamui." Yoshi smiled as his hand began to glow, and using an attack of his own, he shot the death ball back at Onika. VT looked up with awe. Onika was shocked that a mere mortal had that amount of power. He didn't react in time and was hit by his attack. He cursed between his teeth before being knocked into a nearby mountain. Yoshi flew at him and stabbed him in the chest with his diamond odachi. Onika was confused. This guy is as strong as... No. That sword, his power, and that armor. This kid sealed kamikaze? There is no way. How did you get Masamune? Yoshi responded, "I fought your brother, and I lost. However, had he been mortal, I would have won. So he offered to grant me the power, just to beat you. For the last 2 years, we have worked on a plan to accomplish that. So here I am. My name is Yoshi Amana of VT, and I'm here to seal you." Onika laughed. "Foolish child of a man, you will need more than Kamikaze's help to beat me." He grabbed Masamune and lifted it together with Yoshi, throwing them back. He then sprang up and flew at him in high speed. He threw a roundhouse kick into Yoshi's abdomen, instantly breaking his armor and a few ribs. Yoshi fell to his knees, already short on breath. Onika taunted him, "It'll take more than a sword and some armor. I'm stronger than my brother. I'm sorry the game was rigged from the start. You did well, however. But this fight is over, you lost." However, Yoshi laughed. "That's so funny." Onika, visibly annoyed, asked, "What's so funny, dead man?" Yoshi responded, "You think you're going to win, that's what's funny." Blinding javelin. Yoshi formed a diamond javelin and hit Onika in his left eye. He then fired a beam of light at him. "The reason I will win is motivation. You are trying to overcome your brother. I'm here to avenge mine. Do you remember Daisuyo Amana? Hidden power. Why would I remember worthless humans? Do you remember the last fish you ate? No, I wouldn't remember such an unimportant detail as a human's name. He must not have impressed me. He was important to humans perhaps. Not to a god." Yoshi threw a spear at Onika and yelled, "He was important to me," as he charged at him. The two exchanged blows. Yoshi couldn't damage Onika, and Onika struggled with Yoshi's armor. Meanwhile, Risei had managed to free his right hand. "I have to get there before it's too late." Fu was amazed by Yoshi's ability to battle with Onika. Onika used a single-finger death ball. It bounced off of Yoshi's armor and flew toward VT. Yoshi flew to intercept the attack. After it bounced off his chest armor, seizing his opportunity, Onika kicked Yoshi in the head, knocking him to the ground. "I can't break that armor with my power alone. I admit I didn't think a human would take it this far. Shikisto. This battle is over, now you lose." Bat-like wings emerged from his back, and with his 7-branched sword Shikisto in hand, his power had now doubled. With a single slash, Onika cut right through Yoshi's chest armor. Yoshi wasn't expecting such an increase in his power. Wounded, he kneeled and pressed his hands together, beginning to chant something. Onika laughed. "You think I'll let you enter a new form? He charged him at a rapid pace. Suddenly, something struck him. It was Benkei's. Fu, who had put everything into her assault, collapsed to the floor. I hope that bought enough time. Mari crawled towards Ninigi with a key in her hand. She remembered Sonoto Iga leaving it with her. That key will undo a 5-point seal for 30 seconds. Only use it if you have no other options. These things could end humanity with a single attack. 30 seconds may be too long even. Mari apologized to Ninigi, who was very close to death as she plunged the key into his chest. He woke suddenly while screaming in pain as the gold seals on his body disappeared. A red aura glowed around his body as his muscles grew. By the time the transformation was complete, he was the size of Gonda. His eyes were now pure white, and no trace of emotion was visible on his face. Mari saw he wasn't Ninigi, he now was Rinto. Onikage laughed and charged a 3-finger death ball, casting it towards VT. Rinto's fist immediately destroyed it. Before Onikage could react, Rinto grabbed him by the arm and slammed him into the ground, forming a massive crater. Rinto gathered a ball of energy and slammed it into Onikage's face, causing a massive explosion. When the dust settled, he threw Onikage into the sky and dashed after him. He formed another bomb in his right hand and targeted Onikage's chest, but en route, his right shoulder exploded, and he fell to the earth. Onikage laughed. Looks like your mortal body could not handle that kind of power. He began to regress to his base form as the seals reappeared. Onikage flew higher and held up 4 fingers. You know, I've never actually made an attack this powerful. I predict it could kill everything on this rock. Too bad, but you pissed me off. Farewell. Everyone looked up in awe as the massive death ball grew to the size of Gonda. They all started to weaken as a wave of imminent doom loomed over them. Mari yelled, "Gonda, now!" Gonda had been charging a massive attack in his left arm for 28 seconds. He let loose a large beam of electricity right as Onikage cast his death ball. The two masses of energy clashed, and Gonda's one prevailed. Onikage and his death ball were sent into space as the sky cleared. In light, life. Gonda's left arm crumbled to dust as his right arm was resealed. Mari looked at Ninigi and Gonda's destroyed arms, and she began to cry. I'm sorry, I didn't see any other way. Ninigi and Gonda, in unison, said, Don't cry. We are actually thankful to you for saving us. Fu could barely move, and she asked weakly, Is it over? Did you get him? Gonda looked up and said he thought so. He said he had consumed massive amounts of ki in his right hand and blasted him with his left. That the polite old man had helped him and that he wasn't so bad. Ninigi was confused. Gonda. You seem smarter and way more eloquent than before. Gonda smiled and laughed, but right before he could explain, he was sent flying. Onikage stood where Gonda had kneeled just moments before. I'm not dead, thanks for your concern. Now die. He charged a single-fingered death ball and pointed it at Fu. Before he could cast it, his arm fell to the ground. In shock, he yelled, What? He looked to where Yoshi had been praying in his vacant space. He noticed a brilliant light around him, and he turned around and swung his sword, however hitting nothing. He couldn't see his opponent, but suddenly he was cut into 2 perfect halves. VT looked on at the king of the sky Yoshi. His hair was long and white. His armor was sleek, and it cast a light upon the surrounding area. His right hand had fused with Masamune, and it was now shorter. He had a single white feathered wing and a halo of light above his head. This is the fulfillment of my contract with Kamikaze. I shall eradicate the darkness you brought. This is the end of your story. Onikage began to reform. Yoshi gave a fair amount of ki to Fu and instructed her to get everyone away. Onikage laughed and asked, What makes you think I will allow such foolishness? Yoshi ripped his wings off and sent him flying with a beam of light. I wasn't asking for your permission. After VT had vacated the area, Yoshi formed a giant diamond dome over the field. Onika laughed, now fully recovered, and yelled, "Fool, now you're locked in here with me." Yoshi responded with a grin, "I'm not locked in here with you." He then appeared before Onika with 2 diamond javelins. He stabbed Onika with both, then blasted him away with another light beam. "You are the one who is locked in here with me." In darkness, death. Onika and King of the Sky Yoshi clashed. Every wound Yoshi inflicted was healed. Every wound Onika inflicted was covered by diamond. But as the battle dragged on, Yoshi started to slow down. Finally, Onika landed a decisive kick, sending Yoshi to the ground. He landed and slowly walked towards Yoshi. "If I didn't know any better, I'd say you took that kick on purpose. It was a foolish thing to face me. Did you forget that as a mortal, you had limited ki? Pathetic fool. Soon you'll be dead, and I'll live forever, which is a lot longer than your friends. Yes, after I kill you, they will die next. I will kill them one at a time, and before they die, I'll have them curse your name. They'll die because of your weakness." Onika laughed uncontrollably. Yoshi spoke, "Shows what you know. Daisuyo Amano was a lot of things. He was a great man. He was a descendant of Ichiban's first son, Amana. He was a royal guard, and he was the best brother in the entire world." Onika interrupted him, "Those are your last words. Pray to your brother, pathetic fool." Yoshi continued, "I wasn't done. He was also a master of creation ki, like Risei and Ichiban. He made chains that cut off divine ki. It's how he beat Tsunami and how I beat Susanoo. They are amazing. No matter how much I tried, I couldn't replicate them." Onika interrupted again. "If they are so great, why didn't you use them here? Did Kamikaze break them?" Yoshi responded, "Check under your left foot." Onika saw a card. It had been given to Yoshi by Zwa. "Is this one of the old man's cards? If he could beat me with one, don't you think he would have done so by now?" Yoshi laughed and remembered what Zwa had told him when he had given him that. "You are a wild card. You could do the impossible, or nothing at all. Even fate doesn't know the value of a wild card." From the card, both ends of the chain emerged. They wrapped around Onika to the point that he couldn't move any longer. "It's called the snare chain trap. I thought it would have been harder to lure you into it. This is the end." Yoshi struggled to his feet. Onika laughed loudly. "Or it would have been, had I not been hiding my secret weapon. Sayonara." Onika laughed as a third eye opened on his forehead. "Tremble before my full power. When I was born, I almost killed my mother. She gifted half of her power to me, making me 5 times stronger than my brother Kamikaze. With this power, I could effortlessly destroy this worthless rock you know as your world. Even these chains are child's play. Observe." His right arm with the Shikisto broke out of his chain. "Do you see your incipient doom? With a single swing of my sword." Onika was suddenly paralyzed. The tag used on Shuren was on his chest. Yoshi remembered, 5 seconds. Onika was confused and motionless. Risei had teleported to above him and tagged him. After doing so, he ripped his third eye out. He then turned to Yoshi. "I can't save you, in that form. Very well, finish this." Yoshi then cut Onika's hand off and plunged the Shikisto deep into Onika's chest. Onika laughed. "You do know your seal can't work? A contact seal is too weak. And I will refuse any contract. I still win." Yoshi smiled and said, "You are wrong again. I'm just going to say it. Kamikaze and I developed a way to force a contract. However, it requires the death of the one who demands it. Allow me to demonstrate." Yoshi held the Shikisto high and placed his right hand over his heart. Great Death Seal, Onikage. By forfeiting my life here, I seal Onikage into this blade forever. The Shikisto began to glow, and soon Onikage started to get absorbed by his blade. This can't be. Yoshi Amana, you will regret me remembering your name. I'll be back someday, and I'm going to make you pay. Soon, Onikage was gone. The Shikisto suddenly fell to the ground, as did Yoshi. As his diamond dome began to fade away, Risei teleported to him. Yoshi looked at Risei. Brother, I did it. Risei had a single tear streaming down his cheek. You actually won, you did it. VT is officially disbanded. Humanity is truly safe. No gods, no masters. I was supposed to be in your shoes, you stupid bastard. Thank you, Yoshi. You are my hero. Yoshi chuckled at that admission. Risei, remember to find my boy. Please. As the diamond covering his wound started to fade, the extent of his battle wounds was revealed. His left arms at the elbow and right foot at the ankle had been completely cut off. As well, 3 very deep slashes to the chest became evident. Oh, he got me pretty good. Yoshi started to fade from consciousness. The rest of the group gathered around him. Risei, tears running down his face, spoke to Yoshi one last time. I promise I'll raise him as one of my own. Upon hearing that, Yoshi looked into the sky without opening his eyes. Daisuyo's voice filled his thoughts. You did well. I'm honored to have the savior of humanity as my brother. Yoshi Amana died smiling. This concludes the Onika War, where humanity fought divinity and prevailed. However, this story isn't quite over.